After a record-breaking market close, what's next? The fast money traders are diving into the key catalysts that could shape the future of your investments. But could a surprising sector emerge as the next big winner, or will external factors like interest rates and global events derail the market? Stay tuned to find out.
There are catalysts looking us straight in the eye, coming in the form of inflation data, job data, things that can move the needle. And, oh, by the way, global interest rates continue to go higher, which I don't think is bullish. So I understand it. I get it why the market's going higher. People are very optimistic about things. But the things that I've been concerned about have not gone away.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at the Faithful 8, so that's the Mag 7, Sully Plus, Broadcom, the disproportionate amount of their sales comes from outside the U.S. So you think about the fact that dollar is making new multi-week lows here. It's very, it's off of 110. This is the Dixie trading below 98 right now. And they don't have a whole heck of a lot of exposure from the tariff situation, right? So if you think about these large names, let's call them the top 10 in the S&P 500, they're benefiting from a weak dollar, rates going lower, and not having a lot of tariff impact. So if they're huge contributors to the performance of the S&P 500, but also from the earnings and the earnings growth, that could be a bit of the tailwind and one of the things that's kind of keeping the S&P kind of moving slightly higher almost every day.
So, Steve Grasso, what do you think, in your mind, your big brain, will be the next catalyst for this market?
The Fed Reserve meeting, right? So
it's
just a little thing. And to Guy's point, you never short a dull market. You never sell a dull market. But when you look at seasonality, these are the weakest months of the year.
September, historically.
August through October is the weak, but not cataclysmic weakness. It's just maybe you don't want to invest around that time. Maybe you want to pick up some bargains. For me, I think it's all about the Fed. Are they going to cut 25 or are they going to cut 50? I think that's the biggest thing. Now, love them or hate them, President Trump is going to give us something in the next couple of months. So they're not going to be dumb. There's going to be a headline. There's going to be another state.
We get a headline every day.
Exactly. So it really can't be a boring market anymore. And you have Lisa Cook. You have the Fed Reserve meeting. A lot to keep us all busy.
Yeah, and I do. It's not a normal news cycle, so I do wonder. We got breaking news in a second. I do wonder, Guy Adami, going into a long holiday weekend, it used to be just take it off, relax. I don't know with this president. We're getting headlines out of the White House every day. He doesn't care it's a Friday going into a 3-day weekend.
No, he doesn't. And it's interesting. I'm glad you said that because he has now equity in the equity market. And what does that mean? With an S&P 500 at an all-time high, he has some chips that he can play with. So if he wants to lower the boom on a holiday weekend in terms of tariffs or anything else, now's the time to do it, given where the S&P 500 is, because he's trading from strength, not from weakness. And historically, if you go back and look, when the market's at its highs is typically when he can ratchet up the rhetoric. So I wouldn't be surprised to see